Okay, and thanks everybody for joining us on A-Team Call. And the question came up about, or the comment came up, and Cindy, thank you for bringing that up, said how kind of fearful, scary, how else do you want to say it, posting before pictures is. I can tell you that we don't post if you're not part of that group, I realize people in the group see it because you're posting it on the group. But we don't post it anywhere. We don't put it in any public spot. So know that it's not being added to our Facebook page. It's just staying within that group. And the only way everyone else is going to see that is if you win one of the prizes. And then we ask you if we can share your before and after. So hopefully that will help take a little of the fear away. But I have been so impressed with some of you and the brave nature of posting before pictures, and it really has nothing to do with whether you look good or not good, or you feel like you don't look good or not good. It's all about a starting point, and that's the beautiful thing about current reality. It doesn't define who you are. You're not skinny or fat or tall or short or anything like that. It's just a place in time. Well, skinny, Cindy, you're tall. You can't help that. I'm sorry. But it doesn't affect the fact, it doesn't define who you are. It's just a place in time. So think of it that way. Participate. A lot of you are. It's a great thing. And to start the call off tonight, and actually, again, for those of you, it's a new year. We're coming into 2021. Yay! We're out of 2020, but yet 2021 starting, pretty exciting. And I'm excited for a new year. I'm excited for, as I go into the holidays, I do a lot of reflection and I think about what I did well, where I fell short. How can I be a better man, a better husband, a better father, a better grandfather, a better business person, all of the areas of life, and where and how I can make those improvements. And those are the goals that I set. And I keep in mind the person that I want to be. Not where I'm going as much, but the person I want to be. What are the characteristics of that person? And we've got a special guest tonight that we're going to talk a little bit about that. It's going to be a nice Q&A. But to start off the call, as you know, this is the action team, A-Team call. And it's the call where we're learning to overcome objections, overcome fears, how to enroll people. And the goal would be to enroll at least one new person per week. And that's the purpose of this call. It truly is a personal development, business related call. It's not about marketing products. However, our transformation story tonight is a dual 2-in-1. Remember that? 1 in 1. People keep muting me. So tonight we're going to start this off with a great transformation story that is actually 2. So a product and a business. And I'm going to share a couple of pictures with you. First of all, this is one of them. Okay. Pretty brave. This is the dramatic one though. This is one I love this one. So this is pretty cool. Check that out. And I've had a chance to get to know Ashley, and she really is a special person. And not only has she had an amazing transformation physically, but she's also had an amazing transformation in her attitude towards the business and where we're going and how excited she is. And she's one of the top 4 enrollers in the last 5 weeks. And so because of that, I asked her to come on the call tonight to share kind of a little bit about her story, but mostly about why she's excited about the future. And please welcome from Colorado, Ashley Paulsen. Ashley, are you there?
I am here, Rick. Can you hear me?
I can. Keep talking and I'll spotlight you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for having me on the call tonight. Rick wrote and asked me to be on the call and I was like, oh, yes, absolutely. And then Cindy, your little kiddo, got on there and it just made everything okay. It just calmed me right down. But I'm super thankful that you did bring up the before and after. And so I myself have been looking at the Healthier You Facebook page for the last 2 days. And I am so moved. Everyone is truly so courageous for putting their photos out there. And it really is so, so important to take your before photos. It's uncomfortable showing yourself, right? But how much more uncomfortable is it being in your own skin when you're uncomfortable in it, right? So always the before photos, you are being so courageous just by putting it out into the universe. It is a phase of life, but own it right now. You have to make a decision. You have to commit yourself. And that's exactly what I did a year ago. And so rolling into 2020, same exact thing. I jumped into a challenge. I basically what we're doing right this instant. I took my before photos, right? Rick just showed those. It's not super fun taking those, but now you have something to look up in 60 days and compare yourself. When you're living in your body, you feel better, you think you look better, but really when you have the before and you have the after, do you really notice how much changes that you have within your body? And so I just want to give a huge kudos to everyone who's shared their stories, shared their pictures, because it is tough. But when you look up in 60 days and you have a transformation and you've lost weight and you fit into those favorite pair of pants and you do have more energy to play with your grandkids or kids, you will thank yourself, I promise you. And so that's really just what I did over the last, from January until June of 2020. I just followed a challenge. The slenderized weight loss drops have changed my life. The Limu burn, I just stayed committed to my goal. And after I hit that first challenge, I wasn't quite where I wanted to be yet. And so I did another challenge until I got to where I wanted to be. But you have to fully commit. You have to follow the food plan. You have to find people who support you, but help you get you to the other side of the 60 days. 60 days seems like a super long time, but it's not. When you start creating those healthy lifestyles, when you start putting that healthy, good food in your body, it's so easy after you take step after step and day after day. So stick with it. If you're frustrated, if you are at a plateau and you're just like, I don't know if I can do this, find someone who will support you and pull you along to the end, because you'll thank them. But just within those 40 pounds of losing last year, really, truly what it's done for my business. And I encourage you to do the same, because once you have a transformation, people are like, what are you doing? People start coming to you organically, right? You don't even really have to go out and prospect, because they're like, what are you doing? How have you lost 40 pounds? And having these challenges and finding groups of people who are on the same mission to do the same thing, but really sharing your journey along the way. So when you're doing this transformation throwdown, if in a week you lost 5 pounds, you may or may not, I don't know, everyone's different, but take people along the journey with you. They know that you're doing the transformation throwdown. Hey, I'm already 1 week in and I'm down 5 pounds. That'll spark someone's interest, I promise. They'll come to you organically, I promise. But really just sharing your story and sharing your journey along the way. And that's really all I did. I came into this transformation throwdown. I only have about 8 to 10 more pounds that I want to lose, but I really want to tone up. But you're darn right, I got in the challenge. I still have a little bit more weight I want to lose. Right. And so I brought people in. I started being more social on social media. I think after the ARIIX Worry event, I don't know if a lot of you people took that, but it was game changing for me. 2021, I am going pro, and I made that decision. But you have to make the decision. You have to make the decision for the throwdown. You have to make the decision for the daily action within your business. And you have to make the decision to be more social, right? Because people are going to follow you. They're watching you. Are you posting stuff to catch their eye? Are you doing stuff to catch their eye? I don't go out and say, oh, the slenderized drops, oh, blah, blah, blah. Hey, these 2 drops, they're life-changing. I lost 41 pounds. Let me show you how, right? You don't have to be a scientist. You don't have to know everything about what they do, what's in them, that type of stuff. But take them along the journey with you. And I promise you will look up in 60 days. You will feel better. You will feel more comfortable in your skin. Your business will be growing, because that's all that I've done over the last month and a half is just shared my transformation. And I've been more social. So people are seeing me. Within 8 days, I enrolled 10 people. And I'm not saying that to toot my horn. Not every 8 days I've enrolled 10 people, right? But it's that daily consistent action of posting, putting yourself out there, owning yourself, but also owning the business and the opportunity that you have. So don't ever take that for granted. If you are ever discouraged, reach out. Please keep sharing your stories and your pictures on Healthier You. the support and the comments in there, I literally almost get tears every single time I go in there and read people's comments. We're all on the same mission. We all want to become healthier. We all have a goal, and we only get there together. So that's kind of all I have, Rick. I don't know. Did I touch on?
Yeah,
I just covered, but
it's perfect. So maybe one last question. Why were you able to enroll that many people in the last couple of weeks when you may have not done that same thing 3 months ago or so? What's different, or what's changed, or has it?
Oh yeah, it absolutely has. Brent Palmer actually asked me on a Zoom call the other day, are you plugging in? Are you plugging into the fuel source, right? So are you plugging into the calls? Are you doing that stuff? And I answered and I said, I'm plugging in, but I'm not necessarily taking the action that I know I could. And so when you plug in to the energy source, right? Plug yourself into the outlet. We have a Zoom call calendar for a reason. And thank you, Anthony Moreland, because after the Destin event, I put all of them in my phone. I have a reminder, 5 minutes, 18 call, 5 minutes, coach's corner, 5-minute mindset Monday, right? With Robert. All of those are in my phone, but you have to plug in, but you also have to commit yourself to the daily action that's going to help you get to where you want to go in your business. Right. And so just taking that accountability, creating those lists. You have a list every single week for a reason, to find new people. Don't spend the same time on the same people, spinning the same plate. Go and reach out, create those relationships, become more social on social media. That's really how I've gotten more interaction, is just becoming more present on social media, right? And so those people are interacting, they're commenting, they're liking stuff. Now I can take it into a conversation and kind of start having that relationship and building that and taking them along the path. So that's really all I've done different. But you have to make a decision and you have to take action. That's really the biggest thing. No one can do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. So.
What a great segue, Ashley. Thank you. And it's the A team. It's the action team call. So to get into action, right? That's awesome. So Ashley, thank you. And congratulations and good luck in the new 2021 transformation throwdown.
Thank you, Rick.
You got it. So as promised by text today, no big surprise, our special guest is none other than our Chief Mindset Officer, Robert Allen. But the reason why I asked him to be on tonight is I loved, for those of you that were on the Monday afternoon ARIIX success call, Robert started getting into something that I would like to expand on tonight. And, you know, I wanted to say something so bad on Monday afternoon, but it's not my call. But guess what? Tonight is my call. So I asked Robert to come on and expand on that theme, which, what a great segue that Ashley just gave you, Robert. But maybe review a little bit about what you talked about Monday, just a slight review, and then let's go a little bit deeper into that same topic.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Welcome for this A team call. You're here because you're on the A team, and you get to choose whether you're on the A team or not. Nobody has to invite you. You decide whether you want to be on the A team. And that's part of what we want to talk about tonight. On Monday, I ranted pretty strong. I was ranting. And I was basically saying that if you want to achieve success, you have to make it non-negotiable.
I love that.
To say, I'm going to do certain things that are going to achieve a certain result in my life. I'm going to go out into the future 5 weeks, 5 months, and I want to decide what I want to be in my future. I want to decide what my future self looks like. And my future self has certain characteristics. Your future self is different than your current self. Your future self is somebody you've grown into. Your future self has certain characteristics, a certain identity, and your identity when you're thinking about your future self is the decision that you want to make is it non-negotiable, or do you want your future self to be somebody wouldn't it be nice if I was like this? Wouldn't it be interesting if I lived this way? Wouldn't it be curious if I had if I was courageous and willing to do whatever it took at any given moment. And I would actually encourage everybody to go into the Facebook page and watch this last Monday's ARIIX success call, because I was ranting pretty good.
You were on a roll.
Yeah, I was on a roll. Sometimes it comes out of your mouth and you don't know where it's coming from. Has that ever happened to you? Where you just go, where did that come from? What I want to kind of, the way we want to go deeper here tonight is similar to what I was talking about on Monday, which is the only time you have any power to do anything in your life is now. There is no past, there is no future. The past is what you remember of it, frankly, and the future is what you imagine of it. But the only time you have any power to do anything is right today. It's the only power that you have. You can't change your future unless you do something about it today. Now, what I want to talk about today is you can use your past, and you can pull from your past, pull from your past things that you've done in your past and pull it to today so that it affects your today. You can go into the future and pull from the future the vision that you'd like to have. On Monday, I call it your vision decision. You go into the future and you can imagine what you want to be, who you want to be, how you behave, what's your identity as this new person that you, and you get to decide what you want, what memory you want to create in advance. And you can bring the power of that future memory and you can pull it into today, which is the only time when it has any power where you can really act on it. I want you to make a decision that every day you're able to pull the best resources you can to your today. So let's go back in the past. And some people, when they think of their past, they think of some experiences that have been challenging, or maybe we can even say negative, where you had an experience that was not very positive, and that's a downer memory. You also have memories from the past that are upper memories, that are positive memories, that are empowering memories, times when you were the best of you. Well, what most people do what many people do is they'll believe the past. They'll believe the negative past because it's so real. The pain sometimes still there, and therefore it's easy to remember it. Whereas sometimes the good past, the past that really where you changed your life, or you had a powerful experience, sometimes it's harder to believe the positive of the things that we do. We tend to believe the negative. We tend, in the newspaper, we've been coached and trained our entire life that the news is always negative. That the news is. What I'm asking you to do is to select 3 memories from the past that are the times when you stepped up to the plate, stepped up, and you knocked it out of the park. Now that's a male analogy, so use whatever analogy you want. But you were there. You just made it happen.
Nailed it.
You nailed it. And rather than, for example, let me give you a couple of mine. So whenever I find myself in a current situation where things are not as positive as I like to be, for example, right now, right tonight, I'm just coming out of COVID, and it's not been fun, frankly. And so, getting ready for this call tonight, I had to have a nice long nap to get ready for my energy tonight. But in order for me to step into better energy, I had to go back through my experience in life and find 2 or 3 memories that I can bring to now. I can bring to today. I can bring to this moment, this now moment. And it's what I call how to wow your now. Most of us we just think life is kind of ordinary, and our nows, we're not wowing our nows. We're just, kind of living ordinarily. But for me, I said, what are some wows that I've had in my personal life where I could pull from that energy? So as I go back over my own experience, I see myself at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. This was in 2006. It was hard. It was tough. It was 6 days up to the top of that mountain. But when I stood on the top of that mountain, I took a deep breath of that clean, pure, crisp air and realized I'd done something that was really, really, really hard to do. And I now bring that energy with me to today, because I can access that energy by just remembering, by living it, by reliving it as if I'm already there on top of the mountain. And there's a lot of ways to remember your memories. You can remember your memory as if you're there, as if you're experiencing it and feeling what it feels like, and feeling that glow on your face. In my case, just feeling like, wow, I did something that was really, really hard to do. And I was so proud of myself. And I can see through my eyes at the top of that mountain, and I can feel what it was like to be there, breathing that air. Now I can bring that memory and I can bring it into now. I can wow my now by pulling that memory here with me. Now the negative memories, now most of the time when people remember their negative memories, they are in them. They are remembering what it was like to be embarrassed. For example, when I teach people how to, public speak, and I'll have an audience of 200 or 300 people, and I say, who here has a hard time speaking in public? And and I'll usually get about 10% of the people who raise their hands, and then I'll say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was that memory of you speaking in public and being embarrassed, and therefore you pull that fear to today? What they do is they remember the fear. They remember it so vividly. Maybe they were 10 years old in elementary school, and the teacher called them up at the front of the class and said, okay, speak to their audience and repeat the poem you've practiced. And they tried to repeat it and they failed, and everybody laughed. And they go back and they sit down in the audience, and they will never speak to another audience again. Mm-hmm. Why? Because the memory that they created from that failure, they take with them, and they imagine when they want to go to the next public speaking event where they're called to, they pull that memory from when they failed catastrophically. They pull that memory to today, and they remember it, and they feel what it felt like. And so even the imagining of standing in front of an audience and speaking to another group, since they're dealing off the memory from the past, they can't do it. And fear is just a memory gone bad. And so many of us have memories that are painful, and therefore that's what causes fear. And so the last thing we want to do to wow our now is to bring a memory from the past where we failed, especially maybe when we were rejected. Some of you have fear of rejection because you can remember pretty vividly one of the times when you were rejected, right? And so when you think about, oh, I'm not going to do that again, it's because you're bringing that memory from the past and you're pulling it into now, and you're remembering it as if it was happening right now, and you're feeling right now as if that memory is real. It's not real. It's just the way you remember it. So how do you fix that? Well, remember, when you find your good memories, and I talk about me climbing the top of Kilimanjaro, I want to remember that memory as if I'm there, as if I'm still on the top of that mountain. And I want to feel it as if I'm inside that memory. I'm looking out my eyes, and I'm seeing the landscape there. And I'm looking at the crater of Kilimanjaro, and I'm seeing those magnificent glaciers at the top of Kilimanjaro. It's just magnificent. And I'm seeing the clouds, and I can see them, and I can feel what it feels like because I'm bringing that memory to today. I'm wowing my now with a memory from the past. And so wowing your now is almost it's a game you play. You're basically saying to your past memories that were negative, you're going to see them from perspective. You're going to not be in them. Don't be there as if you're that small child speaking to your class. Because when I take these audiences of people who like to be public speakers, and I say, how many of you have a fear of public speaking? I'll find, like I say, 10 or 15 people have a large audience. And I'll go on a scale of 1 to 10, how does it feel? And they'll say, I'm a 10. I'm terrified. And I said, well, I need you to come to the front of the room. And they are terrified. And I say, would you, when you remember the time when you learned to have that fear, how do you remember it? And almost invariably, they will be inside that memory as if they're re-experiencing that fear of public speaking and re-experiencing how it felt and how horrible it was and how painful, and people were laughing, and they could feel the shame on their face because they're in the memory. And I said, I need you to get out of the memory. I need you to see it from a distance, as if you're seeing the little girl over there, the little guy over there, and watch him as he's going through this bad experience. And I need you to disconnect from that memory. Disconnect, meaning watch it as if you're a fly on the wall, not as if you're inside that little kid and re-experiencing that pain, that fear. But I want you to re-experience it as if you're watching it from a distance and learning from that experience. Just come next to yourself as the younger you and say, one day you'll be laughing about this. Right now it's going to be painful, but one day you'll get over this. You'll get through this. So I want you to select, in fact, I'm going to ask all of you in the chat right now to select a few words that would describe a few powerful memories. I want you to have at least three powerful memories. Now, Frances, our gal who has just spoke about her weight loss, how does that feel? When she when she reached the goal, looked down and she saw her feet on that scale. And how did that feel? Because she's looking through her own eyes. She's looking down and seeing her own toes. And she's experiencing it and feeling what it feels like to win. She's having this wow now experience. As the time goes by and the next couple of years go by, and she'll try to remember what it was like to have that very powerful experience. She can remember an image of what it felt like to be a winner. And she can pull that memory into today, and she can feel the power of that. So my other couple of memories of climbing, this is just 3 years ago, I climbed Mount Fuji. And it was hard. But I can remember, climbing through the Japanese gate at the very top of Mount Fuji, and there are hundreds of people. And we're all standing and we're looking down the valley all over Japan, and the clouds are covering the country. The sun is coming up. And boy, can I feel that, what that was like. I can feel how profound that was. It was magnificent. I'll never forget that. Whenever I need to step into a memory in the now, when I need some extra shot, I'm going to pull those memories to today. And I could bore you with a lot of other memories that I use, but what I'm trying to say to you is, what are your memories? And when you remember those memories, I want you to remember them as if you're re-experiencing them and making them even more profound. Because people say you can't change your past. Oh, yes, you can change your past. Absolutely. You change the way you remember your past. And you can change what you learn from your past. Now, some of you say, well, my past has been horrible, it's been terrible. No, I'm saying I'm not going to agree with that. I'm going to agree that you can remember it in a different way, because your brain is so powerful. Now, as we're going through the chat, I'm going to have everybody just write in here, just a word. For me, it's Kilimanjaro and Fuji. Those are 2 words for me. I want you to select a couple of memories that you will have in the bank, waiting for the moment when you need that extra shot, because this is real. This happened to you. These are experiences that you enjoy, that and I want you to remember them as if they're happening again. all over again from your inside, from through your eyes, feeling what it felt like to feel that confidence and feel that excitement. I'm asking you to do 3 here today, but if you really want to do some work on this, you should do 100. You should fill up your what I call it, your MBA, that's your massive bank account, with 100 different memories of you really stepping into it and doing a wonderful thing for yourself. But at least 3. That's pulling from the past those memories where you were a winner. You know you were a winner. So why wouldn't you want to remember your winnings today as you empower yourself in the way you think? Now, in the future, you're going to have some positive memories, your future memories. And on Monday, we talked about your future self. Your future self is going to be doing things. Your future self is going to be doing amazing things. I don't know about what your desire is to be in ARIIX. Maybe you want to be a chairperson. Okay, so what's that going to be like? Because you get to decide today what the future is like. And you get to bring the power of that memory, future memory, into today and wow your now with a future memory. So if your future self really achieves some success, like for instance, the day you become chairperson, well, how will you know? Will somebody call you on the phone? Will you be called up on the stage at some convention or some Zoom call that we're going to be doing, where they call you out and they say, and we're going to give the reward today for somebody who has now achieved a chairperson award. And you get to decide how that's going to feel today. You go out into the future, how long it's going to be. When will it be, by the way? Will it be a year from now, 2 years from now? Okay, then what will it be like to remember it as if it is happening right now? So suppose you're standing on the stage and you're receiving a standing ovation. How will that feel? How will you process that from inside you? Maybe it's another, I guess I'm asking you is, what memories do you want to create in advance? And I want you to empower your future memories by being inside them and feeling what it felt like. Feeling the pride, the happiness, the joy, the excitement, as if you're there right now, hearing the music, hearing what people are saying to you, congratulating, feeling the pat on your back as somebody is patting you and saying, good job, you killed it, incredible, fantastic, we're so proud of you. Thank you for being our leader. Thank you for showing us the way. And because of you, and other people are saying this to you, because of you, we're following after you, and we're experiencing what you are experiencing. And thank you for being our leader. And knowing, feeling and experiencing these memories in advance, then bringing those future memories into today. So for me, little challenging day today for me, but when I step into my past and pull those memories into the future, from the past into now, I feel what it feels like. It overwhelms my COVID tiredness, my aches and pains. I'm feeling those things, or I have felt those things just an hour ago. I was down for the count for today, down. And yet what I did was I went back into the past and found those memories of me being on top of those mountains. And I pulled those powerful memories into my today. I went into the future and pulled a few things that I plan on doing, that my future self is going to do. And I wanted to feel what that felt like and bring that to today. As you can tell, my energy's up. I'm clear in my thinking. Is because I've wowed my now. Now, when you're living your day, it can be kind of ordinary. But when you pull a couple of memories from the past and pull them into now, and pull a couple of memories from the future and pull them into now, it energizes you. It gives you this sense of confidence and clarity. It gives this sense of that you can do it. Why, how do you know you can do it? Because you've done it, because you did it, because you are a winner. Why? Because the memories that you have from the past are so real. And the same thing with the future. The things, what I want you to do is decide today, what are 3 memories that are essential for you to have in your life? 3 memories that you decided these are non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. One day you're going to do exactly that, and this is how it will feel. And feel what it would be like to have achieved the thing you said you wanted your future self to do. And because it's something you're feeling right now, you're able to pull that energy into every single day the way you want it to happen. Now, part of the wow now is realizing that inside every one of us, we have this critical voice. And this critical voice is a doubter. This critical voice loves to cause you to doubt. And it whispers in your mind. I think you all know what I'm talking about. Everyone has this little critical voice. Sometimes it's louder, sometimes it's softer. But when you bring the power from your past experiences where you're proving to your critical voice, hey, you critical voice might be thinking that I'm a loser, but let me show you what I've done in my life. I've done some amazing things. And when you pull that memory into today, it kind of drowns out your critical voice. Your critical voice, which causes you to doubt and fear. Your critical voice is a liar. If you ever hear a critical voice that's nagging at you and saying, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not handsome enough, you don't have the ability, you just don't have what it takes. And your critical voice is trying to destroy your now. And there's only one moment where it has any power. It knows that if it can destroy your now, then you will not take action now towards a better life. And so it wants to inhabit your now. It wants to cause you to doubt everything about yourself. It wants you to remember all the times when you blew it. Therefore, it's going to cause you to remember those times and pull them into now. And once again, your critical voice is a liar. It's not your friend. It's not your conscience. It's a liar, and it doesn't want you to win. And some of us have been able to overcome that critical voice, where critical voice doesn't spend much time in my head any longer, but it certainly did for many, 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 many years. Many doubts that I had about myself. Many, many doubts. I finally just learned that the critical voice is not, it's a liar. So you have to literally say to your critical voice, thank you very much for sharing that with me, but I don't think I'm going to believe that today. What I'm going to believe is what I know I did. I'm going to pull some memories from my past where I won. I was a winner. I was an accomplished person. I did some great stuff. And you pull those things into now, and you remind your critical voice that what they're saying about your ability to do things, about you doubting yourself, that's a lie. It's an enemy, your critical voice. It wants to destroy your now. You cannot let it do that. You cannot. It'll want you to procrastinate till tomorrow. That's your critical voice. Just do that tomorrow. And then tomorrow, when it comes along, and you listen to your critical voice and you put it off till tomorrow, your critical voice is going to beat you up for having procrastinated. You can say, yeah, I knew you didn't have it. I knew you couldn't do it. in your critical voice. Many people don't talk about your critical voice, but it's a powerful, a very strong presence that is in most people. And what I'm trying to tell you is that most people have this critical voice and they really don't know much about it. They just find this nagging, negativity. And your new downline person, the person you just enrolled, they've got a critical voice too. And the new person who will not sign up, a lot of times it's that critical voice is saying you can't do it. There's no possible way you can do it. You don't have what it takes. And they listen to this critical voice and it's a liar and they believe it and they act on it. And therefore they push things off till tomorrow. And tomorrow is not good. You have to do it today. So I'm asking you to make your today as powerful, empowering as you can. And now this discussion about critical voice, I go to it a lot of great detail in my book, Cash in a Flash. And if any of you wants the digital copy of the critical voice stuff, I'll be happy to send that to you so you can read it if that seems to be something that affects you. It doesn't affect everybody. It affected me for many, many years. But I'll be happy to send you a couple of chapters of that book as my gift to you. bestsellerbob@gmail.com. Just send that to me and you can read it if you'd like. Remember, tonight, right now, you get the opportunity to remember why you're here. Why are you on the A team? Because you deserve to be here. You have achieved in your life achievement. You've achieved many things in your life and you deserve to be here. Why? Because we know in the future, you're going to accomplish many, many more incredible things. I want you to use this powerful imagination that you have and go out into the future and imagine what you're going to do. And remember it in advance, a future memory, as if you're experiencing it now and feeling what it feels like to accomplish what you're planning on doing. Feel it in advance and bring that memory to today. And therefore you bring the past memories, you bring the future memories, and you shut off your critical voice and you start to be a person you were destined to be, a person who acts today, because today now is the only time you have any power anyway. And so today is the day you act. This is the A team, the action team. This is not the day to learn and to study and to read books and things like that. This is the day you got to act. You've got to go out and just like our gal who went and signed up 10 people. Unbelievable. Wow. Unbelievable. 10 people. I'm just so proud of you. Wow. So I want all of you to have that experience. So imagine what she is experiencing right now. 10 people are looking to her as the winner in their life, as the example of what you do. I want you to see 10 people imagining you as the leader and feeling what it feels like to realize you did it. In advance, you did it. And then go do it day by day by day. All right, so when we get done tonight, I want you to write down those 3 memories. What are the 3 past memories that you want to remember so that they're immediately available to you? When you think about it, you'd be right at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro for me. I'm right there. Within 1 second, I'm at the top of that mountain, feeling what it feels like. Whatever it is for you, whatever past memory is for you, make it accessible to you. Same thing with your future memories. Make it accessible so that you go, watch me, watch what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is how it feels like. This is what I look like when I achieve that particular objective. All right. So my best to all of you. Rick, that was a little bit different take on what we were talking about the other day.
Yeah, I love that. And I agree with Robert. If you have not, or if you were not on that call on Monday, please go to the ARIIX Corporate North America Facebook page, pull it up and listen to it. There was a lot more discussion about the term non-negotiable. And Robert actually came to the call without that in his mind. It was like came up during the call. And he's like, I hadn't even thought about it. It wasn't even in my mind before the call. But think about what that means when something is non-negotiable. And from a commitment perspective, like if you set out to accomplish what Ashley did, which, and this is not a negative against Ashley. So Ashley, I know you're going to smile when I say this. Ashley is an ordinary person, just like me, just like Robert, just like all of you on this call tonight. But she was able to do an extraordinary thing because she made her mind up to do it. She determined to do it. She took action about something very similar to what Robert talked about Monday and today. And any one of you could do that. And a lot of you are on the call tonight, and I'm going to bring up something that might touch a few chords, and maybe Robert, you want to elaborate on this too, but how many times have you been on a call like this and you said, it just clicked. Something just clicked. This call changed the way I'm going to look at something. I've heard the comments in the call. This was the best call ever. It changed my life. And then tomorrow you wake up at the same time. You do the same things. You have the same fears. You don't talk to anyone new. You don't enroll anyone. And the next day it's the same. And the next day it's the same. How much did it really change you? What is the difference between being motivated and feeling really good about a call like this and being inspired and changing behaviors out of that? And I know that's a passion for you too, Robert, but.
Well, you're a great group on this call. Over 100 people from all around North America. Congratulations, everybody. Make it happen.
Yeah. And it can. Any one of you can do that. And Robert, please feel better. I wish, and when I asked Robert the day before yesterday, he didn't say, well, I'll see if I can do it because I got COVID. It was like, I would be happy to do it. I had no idea you've been sick. So thank you very much for waking up and getting the energy.
Oh, great.
I know. You're going to crash after this. But thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording and unmute the line so you can go ahead, Anthony, and unmute the line so everybody can express their appreciation.
All right, everybody. Welcome.